so proud, soaring high above the crowd. I will smile and shout out loud, go me, go me, go me. I will bless my house today, having fun along the way. I can't wait to start my day. Go me, go me, go me. I can do it. There's nothing to it. I'm flying through it. Go me, go me. With a smile upon my face, I will quicken the pace, knowing I can win this race. Go me, go me, go me. 15 minutes is all I've got, but I'm not gonna stop until I beat that clock. Go me, go me, go me. I can do it. There's nothing to it. I'm flying through it. Go me, go me. I'm flying and so proud, soaring high above the crowd. I will smile and shout out loud, go me, go me, go me. I'm flying and so proud, soaring high above the crowd. I will smile and shout out loud, go me, go me, go me. Go me, go me, go me.
Wait for it. I love that last note. Love it, love it, love it. Well, good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time for your questions. And I have them all right here. There seems to be a theme to today's questions, but I'll fill you in on that in a minute. Everybody get in here. So let's go to the Lord in prayer. Start our day off. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you, O Lord, for all that you've given us. Thank you for our homes, our vehicles, the shoes on our feet, the food in our pantries, the food in our refrigerator. We appreciate everything you do for us. We praise you, Lord, for the kindness that you give us, that you know the hairs on our heads, the days of our lives. You know everything there is to know about us. Thank you for all those many kindness. And mostly thank you, Lord, for sending your Son to die for us on the cross. I'm not going to ask you for anything today, Lord, because I just want to praise you. Praise you from the bottom of my heart for all the blessings you have given me and my fly babies. All these things we say in Jesus' holy name. Amen. Well, you don't really know how many blessings you have until you start counting them. You know, count your many blessings, name them one by one. We are blessed more than you could ever know. We are blessed. Anyway, folks, get in here. We've got stuff to talk about. So let's get started with our questions. Are you ready? Are you ready? Well, let me tell you, tomorrow we start our Chaos to Clean book. We've been reading Psalms. Tomorrow, our new habit is dealing with our paper clutter, and we've all got it. We got it in droves. So we're going to deal with it 6 inches at a time because, if you stacked up all our paper clutter, it'd probably be taller than our house. But let's deal with our paper clutter. Have you gotten your new calendar yet? Get your new calendar. Get your new calendar. Yeah, right now, get your new calendar. We have the small calendar too. Right here it is. You can get them in a set. You can take 31% off on them. We have a great coupon code called SAVE31. Let's see, what else? The Back to Basics package is going to be discontinued. So get it now. We're fully stocked up for Christmas. Or a lot of people are waiting in the side, waiting for shipments to get to them. We've gotten all our shipments in. They're here. We are ready to provide for you what you need for this holiday season, because giving the gift of Fly Lady to somebody changes their lives. It really does. And our system's free. So all we ask is you support us when you can with the purchase. And we make it easy for you to purchase anything. We make it easy. We give you sales. There's always a 25% sale going on. Right now, we got a 31% off going on. And we have some great tools that are priced at more than half price off. The Back to Basics package is $77 off. Our Ultimate package is half price, $108.77 off. So get these things now. You may want to throw in some extra handles, which we're fully stocked of, and let's get started for the holiday season, because what is the old saying about birds and worms? Let's get our shopping done so we can rest during the holiday season. Where everybody else is going to be running around looking for stuff, we're going to be all set up and good to go. Okay, I got questions. You sent me questions. There's a theme to them, and we're going to deal with that theme. So, what does a shiny sink look like to you day to day, and also after a full week? Well, my sink is always shiny. It is. When you first join Fly Lady, your very first assignment is to go shine your sink. Now, shining your sink is a simple process. That process has to do with getting the dishes out of it and taking. I don't do this every day, y'all. This is Shiny Sink 101. You can take some Barkeeper's Friend or some baking soda or whatever you want to use, and scour your sink. Just scour your sink. When you scour your sink with this cleanser, it's going to clean it really well. Then rinse it well. When I did Shiny Sink 101 for the first time, our sink was, dare I say, 25 or 30 years old. Robert built the house in 1975. So Shiny Sink 101 happened in 1999. So it was about 25 years old. We have hard water. So with hard water, you have calcium deposits. I had to take a butter knife and score the edges around the sink to get the calcium deposits off. I haven't been here the whole 25 years. And if I had, it probably looked the same way. So shining that sink, having it look like a brand new penny, even though it wasn't a copper sink, it looked like a brand new penny when I got through with it. The faucets got cleaned. I used a toothbrush on the faucets. Everything looked great. I mean, wonderful. And when you have a sink that is that clean and shiny, and you can get Shiny Sink 101 directions on YouTube, they are on our website. Just do a search for Shiny Sink 101. They're in our getting started directions. Now, if you have a really bad sink, rinse it really well, and you can fill it up with hot water and put half a cup of bleach in it. But I don't recommend that if you have a septic system. If you're on a sewer system with the city, that's one thing. But when you're on your own septic system, you don't want to go killing the good bacteria that are helping keep your septic system working. So what does a shiny sink look like day to day? Well, every night I go to bed with my sink empty. Now, when I get through with dinner, the dinner dishes are washed. I don't have a dishwasher right now because it's broken and I can't get anybody to fix it. I've tried and can't get parts for it. So I'm just doing without because it's the best thing for me. I don't want a new dishwasher. We're getting things done. I have good routines in place, and those good routines amount to starting cooking with a sink full of hot soapy water. And hot soapy water kills things, kills germs. So what does it look like? Every night when I get through with the dishes are in the drying rack. Every morning, Robert puts the dishes away, and we're good to go. It's just a beautiful little system. But we haven't even missed not having a dishwasher. My sink is clean, probably cleaner than it's ever been because I'm putting hot soapy water in the sink every single day. And then when I get through with it, it drains out and I wipe it down with my dishcloth and I put the dishcloth in the dirty clothes. I'll hang it up to dry first. But my sink always looks good. And it also looks good after a full week because I'm doing the same thing every day. Okay. What does your process look like to wash dishes? I couldn't understand this question. But then I got to thinking about being in Girl Scouts and being at Camp Hazelwood in West Tennessee. Middle is right on the Tennessee River. And I realized that some people don't know how to wash dishes. Well, I never put a knife in my dishwater. I always lay my knives right beside the sink. You know why? Because I've gotten cut by one because our knives are really sharp. So there you have it. I have knives sitting by the sink. I fill my sink full of hot soapy water. And I usually start with cups and glasses, and I have the silverware sitting in the bottom of the sink. I stack up any plates, and as I cook, I do my cleaning of my pots and pans. So by the time I get ready to do my dishes after dinner, everything's already washed up and wiped down because I clean as I go. I don't, my kitchen does not explode on me when I cook. Mainly because I like one dish meals and I like hot sink full of hot soapy water. It changes your life when you do that. So I get all the cups, I get the glasses washed first, and then I do the cups, coffee cups. It's 2 glasses and 2 coffee cups. And I have a little collapsible drying rack that can go under my sink when I'm through with it. But it usually stays out till the next day. It comes apart so that the bottom part that the water drains into and then into the sink right now I've got it sitting in my sink in hot soapy water because it was empty, and this question made me think about this for a change. So That's my process. Cups and glasses first, then silverware, then plates and bowls, and then any skillet. I use iron skillets a lot. And any big utensil, any pot and pan that's big, all gets washed. And it goes in my drying rack, and I have my glasses on a silver rag that I lay them on. And then when they're dry, they get put away. That's my process. And I like it. It works. It works for us, even without a dishwasher. Do you use a drying rack? Are those sanitary? Well, right now, you made me think about that question. It's a brand new drying rack. I got it back in August when our dishwasher broke. I think it's when our dishwasher broke. We got hit by lightning, and I I got this little. It's like the collapsible carry-all. It's it's not a. It's a collapsible dish dryer, and it's small. And I like to put things away when I don't use them. But right now I have it soaking in my sink, and it's got hot soapy water on it. And then it'll be clean. It's not a whole lot to get dirty about it. Now I've noticed Robert is putting our basket that our coffee grounds go in, and he when he rinses that out, he sets it in the dryer, which he's not real good at rinsing things, but I'm not going to fuss about it because I can stick it in the sink and wash it. So I can start with a sink full of hot soapy water, wash my drying rack if I thought it was dirty, and then, but I don't think it's unsanitary. I don't think it's unsanitary because my kitchen is not unsanitary. I wipe down my counters, I wipe out my sink, I wipe things down. Um, so are are those sanitary? We all need a few little germs in our life. That's just how it is. That's how we build our immune system. Homes where children are not exposed to dirt and germs and little things like that, they have more instances of asthma as they get older. So, having a few little germs around is not going to kill you. It really isn't. But my kitchen is clean. Okay. That's the first page. If you had raw chicken in a bowl, how do you wash it? Well, I don't put raw chicken in a bowl. I don't like raw chicken. I don't like to touch raw chicken. And if I've got to touch it, I have rubber gloves, disposable rubber gloves that I can use with it. But I always start with a sink full of hot soapy water. And I mean so hot, I can barely put my hands in it. So hot. Especially if I'm messing with turkey or chicken, but mainly I buy my chicken in pieces. I am a subscriber to a meat company, Moink, Moink, that sends me meat once a month, and I get thighs and legs, I get wings, I get chicken breast. I just don't touch it. So I cut it open, and the scissors I use to cut it open go in the sink full of hot soapy water or go beside the sink until I get ready to wash it. And if I'm going to be messing with a big old bird, a turkey, I'm going to put down saran wrap on my counter, and then I've got a cutting board that I use. If I'm going to do it in the sink, you have to wash the bird in the sink. After I get through doing that and getting it ready to go in the oven, I've got the sink full of hot soapy water, and I'm going to sterilize my sink. I have even boiled water, but my water's pretty hot. So I have even boiled water and poured around the sink. But you got to scrub it all good. And So after I have wiped everything down after dealing with chicken, I empty the water, sterilize the sink, and put more hot soapy water in there. And I don't like to use a sponge. I use one of my purple rags, silver rags, gray rags, blue rags. I use a microfiber cloth for dishes, and I always have a clean one. Always have a clean one. Always have a clean one. And if I touch any chicken, that has to go to the laundry right then. And if you use a sponge for dishes, here's a good way to deal with your sponges. If your dishwasher works, you can run your sponges through the dishwasher. If your dishwasher doesn't work, you can put your sponge in the microwave. It's gonna be really hot, so you don't touch it with your fingers. But do it for 30 seconds or 15 seconds, and that's gonna kill anything. But I don't like sponges either. I'm going through menopause. I just feel like I have low energy and can't stay focused. When I feel like I get nothing done, any suggestions? Well, number one, you got to take care of yourself. Menopause is not fun. I've been through it. I have been through it. Um, but your energy level, that has more to do with your diet. And if you want your energy level to be up, you've got to quit eating carbs. Plain and simple. You have to quit eating carbs. And you need to look, usually when you're going through menopause, you're having very heavy periods, which means you're bleeding a lot and your iron levels may be super low. So get an oximeter, one of those things that fits on your finger, and see what your oxygenation rate is for your body. Now, if it's below 90, you probably need more iron. I forgot to show y'all this. Let's hold it a second. Let me get this up. Justin made a video about sanitizing, and I'm going to play it for you.
Justin here with Fly Lady today to tell you a little bit more of how we use our microfiber cloths to clean and sanitize kitchen surfaces. We had a question from one of our subscribers that asked, how is the best way to clean my kitchen countertops? Well, the answer to that is there's a lot of different ways to do it. A lot of people use different types of chemicals. They'll use Lysol, they'll use some type of disinfecting wipe. They'll use different types of chlorine-style Clorox sprays. What we're going to talk about today is an easy way to use our microfiber cleaning cloths, whether you use our original purple microfiber cleaning cloths, our little mini pink ones, which are great for travel, or our silver microfiber cleaning cloths. Today, as I'm going to show you, we're going to use a hot soapy water in this side of the basin, a clean water on this side of the basin, and we're going to use a dry microfiber cleaning cloth. To start off with, you just need to use your favorite soap. Soap is one of the best sanitizing agents that's out there about killing anything on your hands, hard surfaces, and the best way to do it is by using, my favorite is some type of Dawn dishwashing liquid, and make a hot soapy basin. We're going to take one silver microfiber cleaning cloth. We're going to kind of wring out the excess water, and we're just gonna wipe it down really, really good. Wipe it down really, really well. And then you can put it back in here into the soapy water, then take a clean one, wring it out with the clean water, and wipe all of the residue off. And this is one of the safest ways for your countertops and gentlest ways, but it's also very, very efficient at taking care and cleaning and sanitizing your countertops. Now take the dry one and wipe down any excess water that's on here, and it helps clean and polish your countertops at the same time. You can also use this same technique to clean the face of refrigerators, to clean the face of a countertop, and the face of a stovetop, the oven and microwave oven. Just make sure that you wring out a lot of the excess water on your microfiber cleaning cloths before you wipe those surfaces down. And that's one great way to use our microfiber cleaning cloths from Fly Lady. And again, these microfiber cleaning cloths are great. They're actually on sale right now. Pick them up at the Fly Shop at flylady.net.
There we go. That's my son. He does a good job of explaining things. Anyway, that's how you sanitize. And he went through all that when we got locked down for COVID last year. And it was quite handy. So let's get back to menopause, y'all. Menopause isn't funny, but you got to eat right. You got to make sure your iron levels are up. There's tests you can get for iron levels through Amazon. But you got to make sure you got enough. I went through anemia when I went through menopause, and it was not fun because I lost so much blood. I was anemic. So eat well. Eat well. Fruits, well, I don't really eat fruits. Vegetables and meat. No carbs. Rarely any carbs. When does cruising through the holidays start? Let me get my calendar out. I looked it up when I saw the question. We count back 6 weeks from Thanksgiving. So we have 30 missions that are going to go out. So we are going to be starting, well, that's the wrong year. On October the 18th is our first holiday mission. Now, you can go in and download our holiday control journal. You can get an office in a bag, a red one ordered. That's where I keep my holiday control journal. And you can get started right now. You don't have to wait. You do not have to wait till we start in three weeks. Well, 18 days. Because you can jump right in. And, you know, the news media is trying to scare us. They always do. They're trying to scare us into thinking that there's going to be shortages everywhere. Well, that creates a shortage when they do that. So do what you always do. Stay focused on taking care of your family and start thinking about these things now that you want to purchase for your family, and get it done and get it out of the way. And if you plan your menus, you'll have the money to do these things with. You can buy one gift between now and Thanksgiving for all your immediate family practically. Buy one thing a month, one thing a week. How many months of extra food should you have in your cabinets? Well, the Mormons talk about having a 2-year reserve stored up of food in your pantry, in your freezer. Be ready for, losing a job, having a shutdown, just to be ready for anything that could come your way. I probably have a 6-month supply of food. I have emergency food, which we don't touch. That is freeze dried, whatever, those buckets of food you can get. I think the Weiss company sent me some one time and I promoted them. But I have of ready food, frozen food, pantry food, probably a 6-month supply, which I'm happy with. It took a while to build that up. It really did. When I first started building up my inventory of food, I I bought a lot of dried beans, pastas, different things like that. You can buy extra pasta. You can buy $10 worth of pasta, and that's gonna. I don't like to eat pasta a lot, but in an emergency, I could eat pasta. I have what I need. So having a supply of things on hand, beans, rice, pasta, those are staples that can get you through any emergency. You probably need, if it's wintertime, you're going to need more calories in the winter than you would in a summer situation. You need more electrolytes and things in the summer because of sweating. But just start prepping. You're going to feel at ease knowing you can feed your family. And I like to play a game on Wednesdays when I'm on Tuesdays when I'm planning menus and taking inventory of what's in the freezer. I like to figure out what I can cook together. I've got some cabbage, I've got a piece of steak and some leftover chicken. What can I do with all of that? And guess what? A meal comes together and my husband eats it and he loves it. But if you're in an emergency situation, you'll eat what you got. And you want to keep some food on hand for those situations. You want to have an extra way to cook. Maybe you don't have electricity if your power goes out and you don't have electricity. How could you cook something? Have you got a grill? Is it outside? You don't ever bring a grill in the house. We actually have an outdoor kitchen, which is in Robert's treehouse where our grill is. We have a pizza. Excuse me. He made us a pizza oven and he cut some granite slabs, which we could have a pizza oven in there. I have a supply of yeast and a supply of flour. You can buy flour and 24-pound buckets, which is wonderful to have ready to make bread. You can make bread relatively inexpensively, and it takes, for 2 loaves of bread, it would take about 6 cups of flour, and you can make a loaf of bread and some buns, and you can have everything you need for a week. So, folks, start thinking ahead. Be prepared for anything that could come along, because we never know. We never know when there's a hurricane coming, or I just read a book about an EMP, which is an explosion in the upper atmosphere, a nuclear explosion in the upper atmosphere that disrupts things with chips, like the computer wouldn't work and all kinds of things. Well, that also means electrical grid goes down. I mean, we've had blackouts before. There's a lot of things that could happen. A derailment of a train. We've had that this past week in Montana. So just being prepared helps you. And if you have to evacuate and you have one of those buckets of freeze-dried food, you can grab that bucket and take it with you to wherever you're going so that you have food with you. So having one of those buckets is a great thing, but also having stuff in your pantry, in your freezer, that you could cook. And I have frozen leftovers too. I keep those little bento boxes and I put together meals so that maybe I don't want to cook one night and we eat something of that. Robert, he likes to have soups on hand, frozen in 2-cup packages that he puts in a double boiler and and reheats them. They're in the freezer. They're in little stacks. So you can make your own TV dinners if you remember what those were. And get them in the freezer. I know a lot of people like to do these uh, put together these meals in Ziploc bags from cans of this and cans of that and pour it all in. Oh, that's such a waste. When cans stay on the shelf without having to use electricity to keep it frozen. Because if our freezer goes out, we have a generator that will run our freezer for probably 2 weeks, but then we're going to have eaten everything out of that freezer in that 2 weeks. And I think we got more food than that. I'll be feeding the neighbors. Do I freeze soup in bags? Yes, I use a 1 gallon. No, I have a 1 quart bag that'll hold 2 cups. And what I do is I put it on a cookie sheet, well, a jelly roll pan. And I lay 2 down on this jelly roll pan. And then I stack them on top of each other and put them in the freezer. And then they're flat. And then I can file them like they were just file folders. But you got to label everything. In fact, get in the habit of keeping a Sharpie in your Ziploc box. Yeah, keep a Sharpie there so you can always label what you put in the freezer. I just had a hysterectomy 1 week post-op. I've been told by my doctor to rest for 6 weeks. Well, listen to him. Gradual light walking only, no lifting. You know why you don't want to be lifting? You're going to pull stuff loose. I find myself tiring very easily. Your body's been through a lot of stress. And my husband is running the show at home. He's doing an amazing job. Do you have any tips for recovery and things I can do that won't affect my healing process? I would love to hear your input. Well, what I would recommend is sit down and play with your holiday control journal. Print it out and start filling it out. That's number one. If you haven't built your own control journal, get some note cards and start building your own little control journal, or order one from us that you can print out. Just think about it's a mind game at this point because you can't do any lifting. You need to do some walking. So every 15 minutes, get up and put a purple rag in your hand or a feather duster and walk around your house, getting a little more walking in, building up your energy. Don't do too much at one time. Just stay focused on your health and sit and maybe stand at your kitchen counter and start planning your menus for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and get your holiday control journal out. Use this time to your advantage. Start planning a perpetual pantry, as Leanne calls it, where you always have staples in. We do this. We have a perpetual pantry. We have 2 items of just about everything we use in our pantry that's a dry staple or a canned good. And then when we use one, we put it on our grocery list to replenish it. That means we can go 2 times without some, 2 times before we have to buy it. but we try to buy it when we use one. So take care of yourself. Drink plenty of liquids, means hot tea, broth. Just take care of yourself. When you're healing like this, you need a lot of collagen, and bone broth is filled with collagen. So stay hydrated with lots of good stuff. Can you recommend a good Bible study? Well, I think opening up the book and letting the Holy Spirit guide you is a great way to study. I highly recommend Pastor Derek Prince on YouTube if you want to get in immersed in the Word. Immersed in the Word. Now, this is a good study Bible. My sister Patty sent me this Bible. It's ESV Study Bible, English Standard Version. And I have been enjoying this. But Pastor Prince, he gets down to the nitty gritty, to the words and what they mean. And then every once in a while, because he used to teach Greek, and every once in a while he says, this is the Prince version of that translation. So he puts it in his own words, what he has researched. So I think he gets down to just the facts. And I love the way he presents. And my sister Dina said she has a hard time listening to him. He has a British accent, and she has a hard time listening to him. I said, Dina, if you have something inside of you telling you don't want to listen to him, that's a demon. She hadn't listened to enough of Pastor Prince to know that what I was talking about. But I said, you need to rebuke that demon and keep listening to him. He's got some little 6-8 minute devotionals that are absolutely amazing. And if you've got a little more time, turn him on and listen to one of his hour and a half sermons. They're beautiful. You learn so much from them if you'll just turn them on. But the demons in you don't want you to hear this stuff, and they're all on YouTube. I mean, he died in 2003, and he had an amazing life with 2 wonderful women by his side. His first wife, Lydia, died, and then he married Ruth, and they were married for many years. And I've learned so much about proclamation and expelling demons and getting rid of curses and just Bible in general. And usually after I've been listening to him, something will pop up somewhere else on the same topic. Like I was discussing the 10 lepers that Jesus healed the other day with a friend, and we were talking about gratefulness, and that only one, I was talking about with Robert, only one of those 10 lepers came back to thank Jesus for healing him. And he was a Samaritan. And he was a Samaritan. And so goodness and thanksgiving, praise, I'm learning how to praise God. I never knew about this. I wasn't raised. We would sing songs of praises, but we would sing songs. But I'm just learning this. You're right along with me. So I would suggest looking at YouTube for Pastor Derek, Derek Prince. He was born in India. He was in World War II. He's found the Lord in an army barrack. He was sick in bed for a year from some terrible disease. Okay, next one. I have a small septic tank and I have to wait 24 hours to do another load. I wash towels in one load and clothes in another. I bought new colored washcloths to hide stains, but now my white towels are blue-green. Yes, because you washed them all together. I bleached my white towels, but they still have color bleed on them. Will it ever come out? Probably not. Probably not. Just be happy with that they're clean. Now, let me say this about septic tanks. I don't recommend bleach if you have a septic tank. OxyClean is a good way. They make something that takes dye out. I don't know what that is, but there's some stuff that you can find. I've seen it advertised. And if anybody knows, put it in the chat. But more than likely, her septic tank is full because she has killed off the bad bacteria, the good bacteria in her septic tank that turns all the stuff into sludge. She may need to get a product named Ridex to put down her drains every 2 weeks or every month to help put some good bacteria. It's kind of like your septic tank is your gut. And you need a bacteria in there that's going to eat up all the organics. Plain and simple. I don't have a disposal because of we have a septic tank. So I don't recommend putting anything down your drain that's going to kill off your septic tank. So get some good stuff to go in your septic tank. And then don't be putting bleach down your drain. Don't be doing it. And if you can only do one load of wash a day, something's wrong with your septic tank. So I have it on my calendar. I have it on my calendar that every 2 years, I start aggravating myself to get the septic tank pumped. Get it pumped. And we have a lid on our septic tank that makes it real easy for them to come out and pump it. And if your septic tank is not flowing properly through the drain lines that bleed off the water, you got a bigger problem. So I would recommend getting your septic tank checked out because something isn't right. Something isn't right at all with it. If you can only do, I run a bathtub full of water every night. Every night. And do not wash purple rags. I am of the old school. Like things you wash alike. So all your microfiber cloths, do not wash them with towels. All of them need to go with same items. Microfiber mop cloths, all of our purple rags, silver rags, gray rags, blue rags, all together. One load. And get your septic tank checked out. Your septic tank needs to be pumped. I guarantee it. It's full of sludge. And then be good to your septic tank. If you be good to your septic tank, it'll be good to you. And we have a home maintenance control journal on our website that's for free. Get it. Get it and start using it. Start using your calendar to put things like this on. I wrote down when our dishwasher broke. I wrote it down on my calendar. We're getting a new heating and air conditioning unit sometime this fall. We don't know when because they can't get them in because they're all sitting in Long Beach. I don't know where they're made, but it's going to be a while before we get it. We have the money saved up. We're going to, pay for it. The main thing is we've got it scheduled. We're ready to go with it. Now, our old unit is still working. We're being preemptive. Our unit is 21 years old. We know it's going to give us problems. It's been struck by lightning 3 times, 2 or 3 times. So, that home maintenance control journal is amazing. And I wrote it myself. I have lots of books and study books from Bible studies I've been in. Cards, letters, medical papers. How do I decide what to keep and what to toss? Well, cards and letters I think are sentimental. I have a little hat box that sits right over there that I keep my Christmas cards in, and letters from people and birthday cards and different things, because one day I'm going to be in my little tiny house somewhere, and I'm going to have that little hat box that's going to have some memories in it, and I'm going to open it's like a happiness file to open it up and look at these things. So keeping things that are sentimental are beautiful. Medical papers, build you a medical control journal. I had one for Ben when he was dying with cancer last year. It had all of his hospital stays, all the medications he was given in the hospital. It had all his all the things that he'd been diagnosed with, that I could, the medications he was taking. I built this control journal out of an office in a bag. I had one for his car, I had one for his health, I had one for his bills. Now, you don't want to keep things that are 20 years old, I wouldn't think. But building these control journals, and right now you can take a 31% discount on our office in a bags. And since we're dealing with paper clutter this next month, starting tomorrow, it might not hurt for you to get a supply of purple, red, blue, and black. 4 different colors of control journals. And then our office in a bags. And you can buy a control journal with them if you want to. And just start. I use my red one for, I have a red one for emergency that would get me out of the house if I had to be evacuated. It has our insurance numbers. It has real phone numbers listed that are not in my phone, So sometimes you might have to know them. And if you don't have them printed out and in your control journal, you're not going to have them. You're not going to know them because you're not going to be able. I have a rotary phone. We're still hooked up to a regular phone system. So I might have phone when nobody else has a phone. So how do you decide what to keep and what to toss? Dave Ramsey has a great website. And on that website, he tells you what to keep. You need to keep death certificates. You need to keep birth certificates. You need to keep deeds. If your house is paid off, if your car is paid off, these things need to be put in a safe place. Yeah, a safe place. I want them at my house. I don't want them at a bank. I have a safe that has our important papers in it. Could I take it with me? Probably not, but I could probably get the items replaced if I had to. Like Ben lost his birth certificate. He had his birth certificate in his wallet and he lost his wallet. And all I had to do was get online and order it for him. I had to have his signature, but because you pretty much can't get one unless you're the mother or the child. So, folks, there we have it. We're going to be getting rid of this paper clutter, and we're going to do it hard every day for the next month, because paper clutter is stealing your joy. And I don't want that to happen anymore. Do you hear me? So let's get this done. Let's get rid of this paper clutter. Now, as far as lots of books, donate books to your library. They'll sell them. They will sell them. I like having books around. I like reference books. We have a whole reference book library. Robert has his, and I have mine. He has one side, and I have another side of our library. I have books in here. I have my religious books in here. I have books that I've read right there. Sometimes I read them again, like Scott Adams' books. I've read his books 2 or 3 times. I also have them on Audible, so if I want to listen to them in the car. So you just have to get started. And if you have a lot of pictures in your home, get you a bin, a clear plastic bin, and bin, and as you run across photographs, those of you who are old like me, when you run across photographs, put them in one place. And then this winter, on Plan and Play Day, you can start sorting them and putting them into albums. Maybe make an album for each one of your children. Somebody's saying, more stuff coming in from other people who live in my house. And it's stealing their joy. If it's your house, you've got to set some limits, folks. You've got to set some limits. You know, when Jesus called the disciples, they dropped everything. They dropped what they were doing and followed him. They didn't have stuff. They didn't have stuff. They dropped what they were doing and followed the Lord to be his apostles. I love books. I have a place for my books. If books are taking over your life and you don't have a place for them, you may need to pare them down a little bit. Pick out 5 to give away. One time, we gave a mission of getting rid of 1 cookbook. 1 cookbook. How many of you have used a cookbook this week? We look it up on All Recipes. Where are my earrings? I don't know. They're in my bathroom. That's where they are. Duck. Anyway, have a place for your books. Even if it's a board and concrete blocks stacked up, make a bookcase. Books, a house with no books is empty. A house with no Bible has lost its soul. Your children need to see you open up a book. They need to see you open up your Bible. So, folks, that's our show for the day. I can't believe we've gone this long. I love you all. I'll see you at 3 o'clock. Be good, kind, and sweet. Be good to yourself, kind to others, and let the joy and the sweetness that comes from the Lord just overflow and show the world that you are a child of God. I'll see you at 3 o'clock. We're going to read some Psalms and we're going to talk about something. Who knows what it's going to be? Could be paper clutter. I love you all. Bye.